Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're dropping into a raw, unfiltered conversation, a peek behind the curtain into a corner of the internet where hackers, activists, and privacy advocates all come together. Now, this isn't some polished presentation. This is a real look inside a digital crew as they argue, they share stories, and ultimately, they decide to fight back. And right out of the gate, you get a feel for the vibe here. It is fiery, it is defiant. There's no mincing words. For this group, someone trying to control the flow of information isn't just an annoyance. No, it's a declaration of war. This really sets the stage for a philosophy that is deeply, deeply anti-authoritarian. And you gotta understand, their mission goes way beyond just protecting free speech. In their eyes, the systems we live under, government, corporations, all of it, are fundamentally corrupt. So their goal isn't to work within those structures, it's to tear them down completely. It's really a revolutionary mindset for the digital age.
But hold on, this isn't a call for physical violence, not at all. Their rebellion is fought on a totally different battlefield. For them, the real weapons are information, communication, and knowing how to use them. It's all about outsmarting the system, not trying to overpower it with brute force.
So what we're witnessing here isn't just a random chat room. It is the beginning of an alliance. This is, in their own words, a community of rebels, and they're all brought together by this shared feeling that the system has let them down and a deep desire to carve out their own path.
Okay, so first up, let's dive into their philosophy of rebellion. Because at the very core of this whole conversation is this fundamental belief that in this world you have to choose a side. There's no middle ground.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how they frame that choice. For them, security, especially the kind offered by a government, is just another word for control, for surveillance. True freedom, they believe, lies in privacy. It's the ability to make your own way, to be anonymous, to live without the prying eyes of the system watching your every move.
So how do you protect that privacy?
Well, their answer isn't to hide, it's to create chaos. Their whole strategy is to generate so much digital noise. We're talking automated scripts visiting thousands of random websites, mixing up all their traffic, that any attempt to watch them becomes completely useless. It's like they're making the haystack so impossibly massive that finding the needle is a fool's errand.
Okay, so the conversation is all philosophical, right? Well, that's about to change. Things get very, very real when a new member joins the chat. His name is Nana, and he shares a story that turns all their fears into a terrifying reality.
Now, before we hear what he has to say, we have to talk about Pegasus. This is not your average computer virus. Pegasus is a military-grade cyber weapon. It's sold pretty much exclusively to governments, and once it's on your phone, the attacker has total control. I mean, they can read your texts, listen to your calls, even turn on your camera and microphone, all without you ever knowing it's happening.
So Nana drops this bombshell. He reveals that years ago, way before Pegasus was a big news story, he knew his own government had secretly bought it. This wasn't some conspiracy theory he read online. He had inside knowledge, the documents. A weapon of this power was now in the hands of his country's leaders.
And this is the truly terrifying part. What makes Pegasus so scary is its persistence. Like Nana explains, it infects a phone at the firmware level. That's the absolute deepest layer of its software. You could do a full factory reset, wipe the entire phone clean, and the spyware would still be there, working perfectly. There's almost no way to get rid of it. Nana's story just cracks the whole thing open. It encourages another member, Samantha, to share her own personal nightmare, a 6-year-long war she's been fighting. And this is where the abstract horror of surveillance becomes a deeply personal story of total devastation. Just look at this timeline. It's this horrifying escalation. It starts with a network hack, something called ARP poisoning. But when she goes to the police for help, they dismiss her. They treat her like she's delusional. It gets so bad that she's forcibly taken to a mental institution for evaluation. Can you imagine? She was completely alone, fighting this invisible battle that nobody else believed was real. And get this, the scale of what she was up against? While everyone was treating her like she was crazy, she was uncovering evidence of a potential botnet, a network of hacked devices numbering up to 83 million machines. We're talking routers, smart devices, the works. This wasn't just some personal attack, it was a massive hidden infrastructure. And you can just hear the absolute devastation in her own words. This wasn't just happening to her. Her entire family was pulled into this nightmare. Her life, her mother's life, and most terrifyingly, her children's lives were just completely turned upside down.
And if you think it can't get any worse, it does. This is the part that's just gut-wrenching. The attackers stole her children's personal information, their biometric data, and then used it to create huge digital footprints for them on the dark web, linking them to all sorts of criminal activity. I mean, before they're even old enough to understand, their identities have been turned into weapons.
Okay, that's it. Hearing Samantha's story, that's the turning point. The philosophical debate is over. The mood in the chat completely shifts from discussion to action. It is time to fight back. So what's the plan? It's actually brilliant, a classic counterattack. They decide to set up what's called a honeypot. It's basically a digital trap. They'll create a decoy system on her network that looks like a really juicy, valuable target, and they'll bait the attackers to connect to it. Once the attackers are in, the group can watch their every move, trap them, and finally get the hard evidence they need to expose them.
And this, right here, is the moment everything changes. The group solidifies. It's no longer just a bunch of individuals venting online. It's a collective, offering real support, technical skills. They're saying it out loud. Our new purpose is to help each other, because no one else is going to.
So let's zoom out. What does this one single conversation actually tell us? Well, it's like a snapshot of a new digital frontier. We're watching a new kind of resistance being born in real time.
I think the big takeaway is this. When the official systems fail to protect people, new ones will rise up to take their place. These are borderless communities built for one reason: mutual protection. This isn't just some hacker group. It's an international crew, and they're united by the belief that if the government won't protect them, they'll have to protect themselves.
And the proof is in the pudding, right? This isn't just talk. The conversation ends with a very concrete action. They decide to move all their operations to a secure, encrypted channel. Just like that, a spontaneous chat becomes an organized, clandestine crew ready for its first mission.
Which leaves us with a really heavy question to think about. In a world where digital threats are invisible and the institutions meant to protect us are often too slow, or too disbelieving, or just plain ineffective, what happens next? This story suggests the answer might just be found in these small, self-organized crews of digital rebels fighting their own battles in the shadows.